underground has been clogged up and is no longer functioning. These window wells are closed up inside with pieces of cardboard. The way that people used to do it is to have these open all the time in the summer so the air flows through, but these days they say block them up and put a dehumidifier in the cellar.
In the crawl space?
In the crawl space, right.
Will that help the moisture problem that you
It will
said?
not help the moisture coming in from the outside, but it'll reduce the moisture in the crawl space, which is important.
Which is what we need.
Yeah. So, but you see it again, negative grade. You see how this is all bumped up here, and then it's right up against the foundation. You can see this water sits there. So that needs to be addressed somehow to get the water to drain away from the house.
So when it rains bad, it goes up to that green line.
Yep.
Wow.
So this is going to be a puddle every time it rains, right here. Let's see. Couldn't find an access to the attic. Might be something you want to put in one of the closets upstairs so you can get up there and look around, but that's probably going to involve changing some framing. So I could not inspect in the attic.
Wow.
All right. Electric service looks okay.
But there is an attic.
There is an attic. You've got
You
gable.
can see the little.
You've got gable vents,
Yeah.
but those are the only vents. So it may not be adequately vented. You see, normally in some houses you would have eave vents, slots in there, so the air could flow up inside and come out those gable vents. But really, with this size of a house, with those two little vents, you don't have enough to release the moisture that rises up out of the house into the attic. So it is important. You could get up there also by creating a hatch on one of these gable ends to get in. You need to get in there and see what's going on. As I said, the electrical service is in good shape. All these kind of penetrations should be caulked so that critters and water and so forth doesn't get in. This is a great big old brown stake. That's a good thing. Older service, but it's still in good shape. The panel's in good shape on the inside. No real issues with that.
Okay. So the electrical is
Solid.
solid.
Here's another instance of where they've had rotten trim and they've plastered a piece of PVC over it so you don't really have to look at it. But this whole trim board needs to be replaced. You can see all the damage up this way, and this is pretty bad shape. This shower door is
Rotten.
it's drooping. Somebody took the support, the diagonal support off, which really would have helped hold it up. It's still functioning.
Oh, because the paint. Yeah.
This is a bad thing. It's right against the house.
Yeah.
You've got this green stains, and you've got a little bit of rot right over. Ooh, yep. The bottom of the shingles are rotting right there. So I would say take this off the side of the building, move it out a little bit, get some air to circulate around here. This is not to code anymore. It should be a mixer valve, compensator valve, so that you can't scald yourself if somebody flushes the toilet while you're taking a shower. But that's the way it was built at the time. Once again, no caulk. So here's our lovely crawl space entrance. If you look down in here, you can see the holes all the way around this. At one point, a lot of water got in here and washed underneath these walls that hold up the bulkhead. I'm thinking, I'll talk about it inside more, but I'm thinking they had some sort of a flood in the house at one point. There's sort of a water line right around the base.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, back to humidity in the crawl space. That vapor barrier isn't doing anything. It's supposed to be thicker, it's supposed to be intact, it's supposed to be taped seams, and it's supposed to be glued to the wall. So also the dehumidifier that's in there is running, but it's not doing anything. It's not producing any water. It sort of goes through must be like a 50-foot garden hose into a sump made of a plastic bucket with a sump in it. The pipe from the sump pump just sort of coils around and discharges into the cellar somewhere. So, new vapor barrier. The walls have been waterproofed, by the way, but it's still waterproofing on the inside doesn't do you a lot of good. So anyway, a real sump or Well, having a sump down there might be a good idea, but you could either put a new dehumidifier in and pump the water out from that, but it's wired with an extension cord. There should be a proper plug for it, a GFI outlet, etc. So new dehumidifier, better vapor barrier, a proper vapor barrier. Do something here to fill this in, get some stairs so you can come and go. You can see we have a lot of humidity down there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that needs to be, that's a big problem. This is getting ready to fail. These kind of bulkheads, the crap builds up here and it rots them out. This one's been painted, but you can see it had a lot of rust at one point. So it's still intact, still working. Just keep an eye on it, keep painting it. Keep that, maybe get somebody to scrape this stuff off and prime it. But it doesn't feel like there's any problems with that.
Okay.
I mean, it's old, basically. Oh, look, there's a hole. There you go. So that needs to be addressed. See that? That's
Yeah.
sort of a gutter.
Yep, I see it.
Okay, so pretty much done there. Dryer mounting. This needs to be replaced with the same thing, but caulked against the house and so forth. Inside, I'll show you how the dryer is improperly attached. Now, this is an addition put on some time ago. These have footings, these 4x4 posts. They're not really big enough for that kind of a structure to sit on, but it does have footings underneath those. Don't know how deep they are, but they are in contact with the grade. So it'd be a good idea, if possible, I don't know, you could have to dig underneath there, to get under there and clean all around those so that the earth is not touching those, because they'll rot. This is kind of too close to the house. This is a bad area. The pine needles you can see build up, and it holds water against the siding, and you can get a rot into the sidewall, into the framing. Not the ideal situation. Don't know what's holding this up. It looks like similar 4x4 posts, probably with more sonotube underneath. Let's see. All new replacement vinyl clad windows. They apparently had a problem at one point, so they replaced all the ones except the bay windows in the
base.
front.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. That fence, I don't know if it's part of the property or not. It's in bad shape. A note for you with your daughter. There's poison ivy all through here.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Well, it's like the native. It's like the
Yeah, it's
the
everywhere
native
here.
plant of Martha's Vineyard. If you pull it up every year, maybe twice a summer or something, just have somebody with gloves and long sleeves and so forth pull it up. You can keep a handle on it, but you can't get rid of it entirely. You just can't. It's here to stay. It was here before the Indians probably came.
Right.
Excuse me, the
See,
Native
before
Americans probably came. Okay, so I told you about rotting trim right there on the corner of the master bedroom. That's rotten. There's the fascia board is degraded a little bit, but not too bad. But you can see over time that lots and lots of patching has been done on the exterior of the building. So that's something to keep an eye on. I would get somebody in to pull off these shields and replace rotten wood, and also, see if I can find a good example here. The wood,
Crumbling.
the wood on these windows is finger jointed. That means instead of taking a nice big piece of wood like this and building the frame out of it, the trim around it, they took lots of little pieces, joined them together like that with glue, and then painted over them. So that's a really bad situation, because as soon as the paint fails, the water gets into that finger joint and it blows up. It gets wrong. Here again, patch. So up there, exterior. The exterior is in pretty hard shape. It's been maintained over the years, but it's not
It's not ideal.
it's not ideal. So there's a little bit of rust on this metal door back here. The weather's good because it's painted. That's not ideal, but it seems like it's pretty much intact. The hardware has been removed, which is typical when this door sags a little for whatever reason. And that's broken. That blew open in the wind at one point and got bent. Just replace the closer. It should start latching again when it's properly done. This is degraded. This plastic disintegrates. Got the seal at the top is shot. So let's see what else. Okay. No, that's not too bad. Now we were looking at this here.
Yeah.
The upstairs bathroom is approximately here.
Yeah, so that's where.
Both the tubs have fresh caulk around the side. So maybe the caulk was broken where the tub joins the wall and water got in. Or we had some sort of a pipe break upstairs, because there is a lot of evidence of water. You see, the
Damage.
ripples on the floors. You've got these things in the corners of the kitchen cabinets. So there probably was a leak upstairs at some point. It came down through here, went into the cellar. High humidity down there. So whatever. This, I think I tested this and it is not working. That's a safety violation. You need to have this replaced. All the heat works, all the electric baseboards work. The actually, I misspoke. This, I didn't bother to put a pair of pliers on it, but you can't adjust this because of the knobs missing. Older hot water heater, 2008.
Yeah, that's
Still-
really.
Still functioning, a little bit of rust. You don't really need to replace it until something lets go.
Okay.
The dryer is probably at the end of its life. Okay? I test, the washing machine fills, it agitates, it drains, that's as far as I go. All right, this is supposed to be a GFI, because it's right there. These black hoses are not a great idea.
Metal now, right?
Well braided, anyway. Metal or braided, I don't know what they use, plastic of some sort, but something better than these. These last, I don't know, 10 years or so. Also, if you look behind the dryer, there's a real monkey puzzle back there. See that ductwork?
Yeah.
That corrugated duct collects lint. It's not a great idea. It should be pretty straight and go right out the wall. You should clean your dryer vent every year because lint causes a lot of fires.
Yeah.
As I said, the panel's in pretty good shape. I didn't see any issues. This is your main breaker for turning off the whole panel. Then we've got a well pump. That's pretty interesting. Didn't notice that. If these are both the well pump and it's a 220 volt, these should be ganged together so that they go at the same time. But I didn't verify that was on or off. It's running obviously since we got water.
Right.
The pressure tank in the cellar is rather rusty, and it's probably going to fail 4 or 5 years. That's something you'll have to replace. Otherwise, the framing underneath the house looks okay. There's anchor bolts on the sill all the way around. There's no connectors, but that's kind of the way they did it back then. The piers in the middle are holding up the central beam through the middle, 3 2x10s, scabbed together. That's good. So the framing looks okay. It's got some mold on it from, as I said, the humidity down there has been pretty ferocious, and we may have had a leak.
Upstairs.
Under this?
Yeah, well, underneath the whole
The
house.
Oh,
Okay. Let's see. I think that's about it in here.
that one's 2003, right?
Yeah, right. Did I say 2008? Yes, I did. So, okay, let me check. Property windows we covered.
Yep.
Negative grade we covered. Power washing we covered. Full water pressure was, the pump was off, trim rot, back addition. Insulation under the back addition is not in great shape. When it's exposed like that, animals can get up into it. Oh, mice. there's dead mice, some traps, some holes in the insulation, so there's been rodents in the crawl space.
Okay.
All right. Exterior trim on covered. Landscape timbers out here are rotting. So that in particular right there, where you step down, but all along there, something, you should do something with the grade all the way around the house. Maybe even like a perimeter drain that goes somewhere else to get the water away from it. Let's see, kind of trim back first drawer. There was-
Water is the worst thing for a house.
Yeah, you wanna
so
keep it
terrible.
dry in here, and you
Yeah.
wanna, and if you're gonna leave this just sort of closed up over the winter, I don't know if you're gonna live here, rent, whatever, you wanna have dehumidification going on.
Mhm.
Because I've discovered some things upstairs that I'll show you in a minute. Well, the kitchen in the middle, didn't find much there that was wrong. So up here, I see all over the place this,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
and over there,
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
here, and this
Tape.
Oh, yeah.
This is the joint tape.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking high humidity at some point. You notice we've got flooring in here.
Yeah.
This is narrow red strip oak.
Yep.
This is wider stuff. I did discover in a closet downstairs that this is full thickness.
Yep.
So I think they might have had some sort of water problem and they replaced these floors. Can't say for sure. Let's see, what else?
Or maybe it's a carpeted floor before.
Yeah, it could be. If you look at the closets,
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
carpet.
it's carpet in the closets. A little bit of mildew in the corner, but that's not unusual. Most of the closet illumination doesn't work. This one does,
Nice.
but it's these old fluorescent fixtures. You can have those rewired, turned into LEDs. The switches are probably working. You do that and you're fine.
Mhm.
Okay, a lot of the bedrooms, this one has a ceiling light. Some of the bedrooms are, what they have are switched outlets, which at the time was fine. I couldn't find where this one was, but somewhere in the room, one of these outlets is controlled by this switch.
Yep.
This works.
Yep.
These nice new windows, there's a few issues. There's one downstairs with a bad balance, but in general, they're in good shape.
How about that crack?
That is a crack. I hesitate to say it's structural because I don't see any other issues anywhere else. I would fill it and monitor, and just keep an eye on it.
Mhm.
I can't get in the attic to see if the collar ties are proper or the framing is done correctly. It's probably good for the time it was built.
Mhm.
Okay, broken drawer slide in here. All the toilets work, they're secure. This is a little bit loose. That's GFI's work. Here's a crack, needs to be caulked. So we can see we've got regular grout here and then silicone all the way around. So at some point somebody came, and that's typical. The tub sinks a little bit and the grout cracks. If you just keep that caulked up, you'll be all right. A little bit of a green stain there. I was going to do a pH test for you. I'll do that. I forgot to do my kit. But that means your water might be acid. Acid water will eat the copper pipes from the inside. So probably you want to put a treatment system down in there. Have a water company, Island Water Source, Smith Plumbing. Smith Plumbing appears to be the well driller, according to the well on the outside. So they would be the people to call, see if you can get them to put in a treatment system. There are no bath fans. It's a good idea to have bath fans, especially now. You exhaust any odors, any kind of contamination. Did you get a copy of the septic inspection report?
Yes.
Good. Okay. Couple more things downstairs and then I'm basically done. As I said, I may remember a few more things when I write up the report.
Did he go inside here?
No.
Huh?
He just said,
Or the tape?
yeah, and the closet lights don't, not all the closet lights, that one works.
Okay.
is counterproductive. So that means it doesn't do how it wants. So I would, if it was my house, this almost certainly could be converted. You put, I don't know what, I guess the bumpers are shot, they stick, you could scrape those off and put new ones on. You could come out of the top of the microwave and go out, this is an exterior wall. So you have you're frying, your gases go out, so it's nice,
It
so much
just blows
nicer.
right there.
Yeah, this is the bump in on the outside. So you could just go out the back wall, get somebody to do it. Refrigerator's holding a nice temperature, seals look good. This isn't working, no big deal. This is a hot water dispenser, but it's derelict. There's some kind of a part down there. I don't know. It used to be mounted and it's just not installed anymore. If you want one, you can have one put in. This is a little weird. This is your dishwasher drain. The pipe is supposed to be looped up so that if the sink backs up, it doesn't get into the dishwasher. But this one goes up in here, and then they stuffed a sponge into the top of it to hold it in. So you've got a trap there. So it's really not a big issue, but I want to see a cap on the top of it with a pipe, you know, the dishwasher drain going through it. I ran the dishwasher, it started, it drained. It's kind of old. I'll give you a mechanical inventory. Everything I saw in here, I took a picture of the data plate. I'll date it and I'll run it through Appliance 411. That will kick out if there are any recalls at the Consumer Product Safety Commission.
Awesome.
Okay, now I can't guarantee there are no recalls,
Yeah.
but I will do that, and if there are any that are picked up, you'll know about it.
Okay.
So cabinets are in okay shape. There's no hardware, but you got these edges that you can grab a hold of. This door won't stay shut. A little bit of adjustment maybe, I don't know. Something maybe a carpenter could look at.
This looks drooping, right? Isn't it? It's pulled off the wall.
Yeah, you know, this is a really big cantilever. So maybe you could do something. These cabinets are on the cheap side. There may be something up there. You could put something attached to the top of the cabinet, pull it up a little bit.
Yeah, it just sticks out
It's
a lot.
basically an engineering issue. There's too much stress. These cabinets are wood frame, and then they've got particle board the rest of the way. So
It's not.
they're not high quality.
Yeah.
So but otherwise they're pretty well fastened to the wall. It's like we get a little more moisture damage over there in the corner. Tile floors look good. I don't know, I'm running out of stuff. You have any questions?
What do you think the biggest, first thing we have to address is the shear in the crawl space?
Yes, right away I get a working dehumidifier and a condensate pump and discharge that outdoors. So that you're getting rid of the humidity. At some point you're gonna wanna put a real vapor barrier down there so that the moisture doesn't come up through the slab. You didn't want a radon test. They're easy. You buy them in the hardware store, leave it in the house with the doors and windows closed for 2 days and send it out. Radon is a significant hazard if it's too high. It causes lung cancer. So that I would recommend that you just get one from the First Alert sells them. Everybody's got them. You send them off to the lab, in a couple days it comes back, tells you what the level is. And then you can go to the EPA link that I sent you in the intake email, and that's a wonderful resource on radon. It's really good.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm like I say, I'm basically running out of gas here. You have any other? Oh, these lights. We know these lights don't work. I don't know why. Might be over there somewhere. Could be all 4 bulbs are burned out.
Right.
Can't tell.
All right.
So the dehumidifier downstairs, is that just the regular typical that you buy on
Yep.
the
You want it, when you buy a dehumidifier,
Yeah.
they come in they rate them in pints per
Yes,
whatever.
I've seen those.
Measure the footprint of the house, pick the one that's the right size, and use that. And then get a condensate pump that will pump that that condensate outside. Go down there every 6 months or a year and check the filter, clean it up. So that's
Is that because I've just bought that maybe in the summer
yeah.
in my house in Avon. There's a pump that goes with it already,
Yes.
and it throw into my French drain the
Fine.
water. Is
Fine.
that
Well, it depends on where your French drain goes, but it's better than this guy has the sort of jury rigged sump with a sump pump in it, and the sump pump doesn't go anywhere.
Oh.
The situation down here is you're not dehumidifying; you're wasting electricity running the thing. So new dehumidifier, something to pump the stuff overboard, might be worth as you're putting that vapor barrier in, putting a real sump in there and having, in case there's a leak, that it goes out. When you leave the house, turn the well off. Every time you go for any number of days, the weekend, the week, over the winter especially, if you have a leak in here, freeze up, or just a pipe break, tens of thousands of dollars worth of damage in very short time because of the water damage is awful. So just flip the well pump off. Then you'll only get the 25, 30 gallons that are in the tank, and you'll be able to mop it up when you come home instead of having to rip out the floor. All right, that's one thing. Have your septic system inspected every 5 years, pumped as needed. Definitely make friends with your well contractor. You know, Smith, they're a well-known island firm. Looks like they drilled it. It's right over there on the way in. And a water test. I'll do the pH test. A real water test might be peace of mind. You can check for E. coli bacteria, high minerals, whatever. I have no idea what the water's like in this neighborhood. Oh wait, you know what? You might be able to get town water. There's a fire hydrant right down the street.
Yeah, she was mentioning that, right?
It might be worth, it's gonna be an expense, but then you've got town treated water coming in. You don't have to worry about your well. There may not have been town water here when this house was built, so they put a well in. So getting it tested to see if it's okay to drink, and then think about upgrading to the town water supply down the road.
Okay.
so? There's no major issue that it's gonna fall
The
apart.
house isn't gonna fall apart tomorrow.
No, but the exterior is tending to rot.
Yeah.
So
just-
that's something you need to address.
Yeah.
There is rot over here that's been covered up, and all the windowsills seem to have some form of degradation. So that might be something you'd want to work on.
Address.
It could run to some money because you might have to pull windows out and put them back in again. You might have to deal with siding and stuff. But that's something you should get a contractor to
To look at.
evaluate.
Yeah.
Let's see, little weather stripping. That door sticks. A little bit of weather stripping issues. The doors are old steel doors. Put them on the list to replace eventually. Electric heat actually is kind of coming back into fashion.
Really?
Huh?
You know, well, electricity is supposedly clean. They're generating more and more of it with renewable energy.
Okay.
You have a pretty much south-facing roof. You could put some solar up there.
Oh.
Have somebody come in professionally, check your roofing before you put the solar on. But then you could get mini splits that are heat pumps.
Oh, yeah.
And
Mini
they're more efficient than the baseboard because instead of heating up and using the electricity to generate heat, they move the heat from outside to inside or vice versa.
Oh, okay.
So you get air conditioning, you get heating, and a little bit of filtration, but it's more efficient than the baseboards when you're heating.
The mini splits.
Yes.
Yeah. We've seen those in a lot of houses.
Just do your homework. Fujitsu's a good name. Mitsubishi's a good name. Look for the high efficiency numbers, not the highest, because you don't want to get the bleeding edge. You want the good stuff, but not the high tech stuff, because that's top of the line, and you'll pay more for it. So get a good good, you know, and sometimes people wanna put in the multi-room splits with the single compressor outside, the numbers are lower on those than they are on the singles.
Okay.
So, get a good HVAC contractor, talk to them, do your research online, and pick a good system.
So that's one compressor for multiple units?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah, you could get up to 4, I think.
Ooh.
But they aren't as efficient as the individually matched ones. So that's something for your HVAC contractor, and you want a good one that's not gonna just sell you, oh, well, I'm a Fetters dealer, so I'm gonna sell you that one. You want one that's gonna work with you and give you the best efficiency and reliability is important too. They're really becoming very good at making those now. So
they're a contractor in the island.
yeah, they're tough to come by. If you can get a good one, hang on to them.
Wow.
It's difficult to get work done out here.
Really?
Electricians, plumbers, HVAC, carpenters, painters not so much, but everybody's in great demand. The island has suddenly seen this giant bump in year-round population because of the
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
People who had houses are moving in here. People who don't have houses are buying them. Yep. Okay, so I will get the report out within 2 days.
Okay.
You'll get the report with photographs and a description of all the things. There'll be a summary at the beginning. I recommend you read the whole thing. Then I'll give you the mechanical inventory of all the appliances. Basically, that's it. I mean, that's the washer, the dryer, etc. And that'll tell you how old they are.
Okay.
Also, you get access to my trove of photographs. I took lots of photographs. There'll be about a third of those in the report, and you can go to the Dropbox and see them in full resolution. All the different ones that I took of different places, things I saw that if I didn't see a problem, you won't see it in the report. There's a few things that I just add, you know, a picture of the appliance, even if it's working, just to show you what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Okay?
So there's no really big issue.
Just keep your eye on the rot on the outside.
That's
cut
it.
the trees back.
Cut
Deal
the
with
tree-
the crawl space humidity. I mean, it's not a great house, but it's structurally sound. It looks okay. It's got heat. You know, I mean, it's
Yeah.
some of this. I've seen stuff that would just curl your hair. I mean, there's water coming in around the outside of the house. That's something you want to
Address.
address somehow. Nothing really giant. I'm not allowed to say yes, buy the house, don't buy the house.
Yeah. No.
But
We just.
I give you the list of things I found, and you have to make your own decision.
Right.
Okay.
Awesome.
Where that side that's slumping towards the house, you know, there's dirt and then going towards the
Yeah,
house.
that's
here.
negative grade. All along
Negative
here,
grade.
we've got a sort of a depressed area over
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
All around the house. This area is flat. So they should have built the house a little higher so
Okay.
they could slope away from it, but
So what kind of contractor who can do that?
that would be more of a landscaping.
Landscaping.
Oh,
We
okay.
gotta grade the.
You also want to get a gap up front between the bottom of the shingles and the grade there.
Yes.
Because animals can climb up, the water, you know, it splashes up, water splashes up, it rots the bottom of the shingles and so forth
Okay.
and so on.
Good.
Keeping the outside of the house dry is huge, and water from collecting around the outside.
Sure. So there's no more water leaking there. So this is just gonna be
The only
resurface and looks better.
Yeah, resurface and look better. It's probably a previous leak,
Yeah.
and also high humidity up in the upstairs.
Uh-huh.
Humidity rises. When you got the
Got
heat
you.
on, it goes up,
Uh-huh.
and it tries to get into the attic and go out the ends. So
Yeah.
keeping maybe a dehumidifier in here as well. If you're gonna leave it over the winter, shut everything down, leave the heat on very, very slightly, and then dehumidify.
Okay.
Try and keep the humidity down, because that'll cause mildew, the bedding will get rank. It's good. to keep-
Dehumidifier is all year round, Louis, to use?
Well, in the summer in August, this place is dripping wet, but you've got humidity in the crawl space. You're going to dehumidify that. Then you want it here and on, it's got a humidistat in it. So if it doesn't get up to 60%, it doesn't run, it just sits there.
Okay. Oh,
So-
yes, yes, yes,
So,
yes,
you
yes.
know, it only
It's
runs.
automatic, yeah.
It only runs when it
Gotcha.
gets humid in here.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Okay.
okay. So just leave it on and let
Leave it on.
do it
Yeah,
by its own.
check the filter, brush it off, make sure it actually works, turn it way down every once in a while. It should come on and vibrate, you know, like a refrigerator, and it should start to sweat. The water should start to come out the back.
Yeah, the one that I bought from Costco is, there's a long, long hose going
Right.
towards.
Yep.
So that's the one that
That's
it's
the
like
compensator.
automatically,
That's
the new
issue.
one.
That's the automatic.
Gotcha.
They fail eventually. So if you're gonna buy one that has a pump in it,
Yeah.
then make sure it's one that also has a place to screw on the garden hose.
Yes, yes.
So that
there
when
is.
the pump inside fails, which they do usually before the
Yes.
compressor part fails, you can then drain it into a condensating
Gotcha.
pump and send it over.
Great. Okay, that's good. Good to know.
Okay?
Okay.
Any other questions at all? And actually, once you read the report, call me if you want me to discuss anything. I'm
Okay.
perfectly happy to do that.
Great.
All
I
right?
can do this then.
What's that?
The tape.
Yeah. Or how are you with sheetrock? I mean, popcorn ceilings? Well, I don't know how to do popcorn. So I think there's this thing you can get that,
Scraper.
well, a scraper to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Or if you want to try and duplicate it, I don't know, there's some sort of a device they use that shoots it up there.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen it on Google.
Yeah.
I mean, even a roller, when you
They
roll
have
it,
rollers to do it, okay.
to do it.
Yep,
it might not exactly what it is, but it's a small thing.
yeah. Take the old tape off.
Yeah, take it off.
Put it back
Do
up.
a mud.
Yeah, a
do
little
mud,
bit of mud. You're gonna see it no matter what, but it'll look better if you
Than this.
match it up.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
All right, do we have to call somebody? I think.
Nia, the
No,
real
yeah, the
Naya.
realtor will come back and close everything
All
up.
right, I'm gonna shut the doors anyway.